28th of April, 9:54 UK time. This is BTCUSDT, and we're currently on the day chart. And looks like we are now possibly putting in our first red candle in quite a while, since the 16th of April. We've had a break above our 92, well, I say 92 is around 91k support resistance line, broke clear above it, had a few days above this line, and looks like we could possibly be getting support on this area. So if we go into the 4 hour just to get a bit more detail, as you can see, it's clearly holding above this. All we need is for it to hold above for a little while, enough for the RSI to cool off, which it had done. So RSI was reading 91 on the 23rd of April, was clearly above the trend line at 94k, and then we started to see a decline on the RSI, although the price is still held above this area. Now, we was speaking about this, the longer it can hold above this area gives it a chance for the RSI momentum to cool off, reducing for another push to the upside. So looks quite good, chance that there could be more bullish moves, but although we say that anything can happen in Bitcoin, so it's just about watching what's happening on the higher time frames. I mean, if we look for the last, since the 9th of April, we was down at 74k and have risen up, what is that, maybe 20-25%. Let's just actually make the measure so we know what we're talking about. 27%, 26% in, I don't know what, 2 weeks basically. Great run up. So I mean, as expected, definitely can expect some kind of pullback after such a run up. Looks like we're printing our first red candle. Also, when you look at the RSI on the day candle, it does look like it is kind of bearing over. So let's see what happens. If we can hold above this and start printing some more green candles after this cool off period, and it still holds above this, then yes, you could be looking at for more upside. If it breaks below this and has a retest and cannot get above this 91k level, then you'll be looking for short trade opportunities. Now, let's look at the overall picture on the weekly. On the weekly, what we want to see for more bullish ideas for Bitcoin would be a higher high on the weekly than this last all-time high. If it can put in a higher high reaching above that 108k that it was at, and it can put up a higher high and then put in a higher low than this low area, then we can have an idea. Imagine it comes above and it kind of uses this current 91k support resistance area as a retest on the weekly, then we could be looking at more upside. But we must consider that we have had upside for the best part since January 2023. If you look at this weekly candle chart, it's basically been up. We had a major cool off period from that massive run up from 15k all the way up to 73, and then it just cooled off for 6 months in 2024. Then we had our break of all-time highs in November. So that's you're talking about two and a bit years of upside. At some point it's got to come the other way. So let's just jump out even further and go to the monthly and have a look, because the higher time frames tell a better story as to where things are going in the long term, obviously. Well, I say obviously, but it's not to some. So if we look on this monthly, actually in the monthly we've had you know, a few red candles placed in, so long as we can put in another few highs, I mean, realistically, I do believe we will be coming back down. I don't think that, I'm not trying to predict, but it's been such a run up that I'll be surprised if it goes up any further than the 108. I do believe that we have kind of like really exhausted. If we look at the RSI on the monthly, we've finally had, and I'm talking about since 2023. If you look at this point on the RSI, we had our first crossover, the RSI average, and it has stayed above that average line. See this point here? That is the beginning of the upside from the last bear market. Has broken above that, and this line has stayed above the average yellow line up until February, where we had it cross below for the first time in 2 years. Okay, so also you can see this RSI is already oversold on the monthly. The RSI average is kind of curling over. We've had this massive run up, which is 6x since its low point, and so this is another reason why I'm really kind of like, will be surprised if we get that higher high. Anything's possible, but I will be surprised because this has been an incredible run up for the last 2 years, and it needs to pull back somewhat. Like I said, if it breaks below 73k on the monthly, cannot get above it, then we know that we will be having that. It'll be kind of like a confirmed downtrend on the higher time frames. So that's my analysis of Bitcoin. You know, I will be making another video in the middle of the week and towards the end of the week, and hope to see you on those videos. Take care, bye.